All right, guys, good morning again. All right, so we're going to take a look at making the stack. Okay, so let me actually present my screen now. All right, and we're going from there. Boom. Okay, so screen should be shared. Boom, boom, boom. All right, here we go. So what we're kind of looking at here is part number two, the stack. All right, so this is the piece that's going to fit in the hole that's on the barrel. Eventually, obviously, if it was a steam train, this is where the exhaust is going to kind of come out. All right, so one of the things looking at here is kind of just knowing my tools. Now, one of the things you can do is you could actually make a circle here. All right, extrude it up. You can kind of go here, do a tapered extrusion up here, but with the dimensions there, it's not so easy. So if actually you look at this kind of hatched pattern here, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use something called the Revolve Tool. All right, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just sketch out this little hatched pattern first. Okay, and then I'm going to do um, and then I'll add this hole later. Okay, so you'll see how it is. Now, instead of using the diameters here, I'm actually going to use the radius, okay, because I'm only going to make half the object, and I'm going to use the revolve tool to kind of make it go. All right, so again, we'll kind of get in here, get into our XY. All right, make our sketch. All right, so if I look at the first one here, it's actually just going to give me a diameter of 0.5. Okay, so I'm actually going to use 0.25, and then the height of it is 0.25. All right, so let's go back and I'm just going to make my rectangle. All right, we should be getting a little bit more familiar with it, so I'll kind of move a little bit quicker on this end. So I got 0.25 by 0.25. That's going to be my rectangle there. All right, now they don't give me the dimension for the piece that's kind of go up here. So what they do is they give me the height here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the height there, and I'm actually just going to come out and draw a line here and then connect the two. All right, so you'll see here that I'm going to go up, and if I follow here from the bottom, it's going to be up 0.5. All right, and then I'm going to come out, all right, 0.6125. All right, so half of this. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So I'm going to go up 1.5. All right, 1.5. All right, and you want to always make sure that you're at the right degree, because if you actually go here, it starts actually messing with the degrees. So you want to make sure that you're at 90 degrees. So when you do your revolve, you have a nice straight line. Okay, and now here I can actually continue drawing my line, and that one there again. Let's just double check the dimension. All right, it's going to be 0.6125. Okay, so make sure it's at 90 degrees. 0.6125. All right, and now what that does is it allows me to now reference this angle because I didn't have the dimension for that angle before. Okay, so now I can just kind of go through, go from there. All right, and if I look back at my drawing now, so now here, all right, I'm going up 1.75. So I'm just going up 0.25 from here. All right, and this here, it's telling me that that angle of that is 15 degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 0.25 and then I'm going to go on an angle of 15 degrees. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like. So when I draw my line, I'm going to go up 0.25. All right, and if you slide it over, so right now I got 90 degrees. I want to go 15 degrees in from there. So I'm actually going to be at, so hit tab, and I'm going to be at 105 degrees. All right, and now what I could do is I could actually just go in and kind of close off my shape now. All right, I'm just going to draw a line to the center there. And in order to make it a closed shape, I'm just going to kind of come down and join these. Okay, so this is where it gets fun, all right, because now you get to use your revolve tool for the first time. All right, so if we go over here, all right, this is our revolve tool. All right, do they have a shortcut for it? No, it's just the revolve tool. All right, so now if we kind of look and examine the revolve tool, it basically tells me what profile am I looking at? All right, what axis am I using to revolve it around? All right, is there a certain angle that I'm going to do, or is it going to be full? All right, and then which direction am I going, and am I doing a cut or am I doing a join? All right, so here we're going to do a cut. So let's select our geometry. So we're going to select all of the stuff that we do, and hopefully everything is a closed shape. All right, then we're going to select our axis, and we're actually going to rotate it in here so it makes that nice circular look. All right, so once you click that axis, it previews it for you. It looks good. Okay, it's going to kind of give me that shape, and I just have to put the hole in the top here and then chamfer the bottom here a little bit. All right, and then we're good to go. So we go here. All right, now what we want to do is we're actually going to make a what's called a counterbore hole. And you'll see that that kind of shows itself here because it's showing you the bigger diameter here, all right, is going to be this part here. Oh, sorry, the smaller diameter, it's actually going to be this part here. All right, it's actually going to go down 1.5. So it's going to go down here 1.5. And then the bigger diameter here is 0.875, and it's going to go down 0.375. So 0.875 down 0.375. And what this would be, a counter bore hole is typically going to be to hide something. So let's say I was building furniture, I wanted to screw two pieces of wood together, all right, but I didn't want that screw head to show. So what I would do is I would use a counter bore hole and then eventually fill that with some kind of wood filler or a dowel or something like that. All right, and then I just have to come down here and chamfer the edge, which is sort of like the fillet. It just doesn't round the edge. It actually does an angle on it. So you're actually going to tell it what the distance of it is and what the angle is, because there's a couple different types of chamfers that you can use. All right, so let's take a look at what that's going to be like. Okay, and again, referencing the dimensions. So we're just actually going to do a point here. All right, let's just find, oh, I didn't do my sketch yet. So let's create our 2D sketch. I didn't select what I wanted to do yet, and I'm literally just going to put a point in the center of that circle so I can reference the hole tool now. All right, so I basically just went into my 2 dimensions real quick. All right, did my sketch, drew the point. Now I want to actually go in and use my hole tool. All right, and now again, we have different types here. All right, so this is actually going to be your counterbore hole. Okay, now we looked, it's not tap, it's actually going to be a simple hole. All right, it's flat at the bottom. All right, and we should be good to go from there. So let's take a look. We're going to actually use our point, and then it should actually come up with the nuts and bolts of it here. Okay, so if we look here, our diameter for the first one, all right, that's going to be down in here. Okay, so for the bigger part or for the smaller part, it's going to be in here. All right, and then the depth of it is going to be here. So we knew that it was going to come down, all right, 1.5. All right, and that if we come over here, now the depth of the inner hole was going to be, or sorry, the diameter of the inner hole was going to be 0.375. All right, and you can see it's kind of previewing it as we go. All right, now the diameter of the larger hole was going to be 0.875. All right, and then that was going to come down. Let's just double check the dimension there. It was going to come down 0.375. Okay, so I typed that in, 0.375. All right, and then you can see it's all previewed there. It looks good to me. All right, and then I can hit OK, and you'll see that it basically made that counterbore hole. All right, it didn't go all the way through on the bottom, and now we just have to go in and chamfer our bottom there. And the chamfer is there just because it has to fit in that hole in the barrel, and basically it's just kind of creating a little ridge for it to kind of go in easier. All right, and like I was saying before, they have kind of different tolerances for this. Remember, we kind of looked at that in class where, if it's 1 decimal place, it's going to have a certain tolerance of, I think it was ±2. All right, so we're just going in and making sure that, these are actually going to create what's called an interference fit. All right, so basically, they're roughly the same size, and when you push them together, they're going to kind of lock in. That's your interference fit. So if you look here, it's looking at, what edge are you looking to chamfer. So I'm going to select here. All right, and now they have equal distance ones. They have where it's 2 separate distances and a distance and an angle. So we're going to do the distance and an angle one. All right, and you see here, it gives me the distance here. All right, I think that one, let's just double check, was 0.01, and it's at 45 degrees. So we're just going to plop a little 1 in here. All right, and hit OK, and you'll see that it rounded that edge. Okay, well, it just kind of shaved off that edge just so it fits in a little bit better. Okay, and that's where you kind of have your stack now. Okay, so let's save this up. All right, we'll do demo video stack. All right, and then we should be good to go on that. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. We'll get over to the record and kill that. Bam.